Hello and welcome to this game review. In this one, we will talk a lot about forcing moves and considering your opponent's forcing moves before making any move in chess ever. So it started as something like this. White got the whole center, and here white plays the move h3, but h3 is completely inappropriate here because white has only one piece developed, so there's no reason to push around pawns on the side of the board. Instead, we should just develop pieces, play bishop e3, bishop e2. There's no reason to tell your opponent to take the knight. He is going to do that anyway if he is going here. So instead, white should play knight c3. Now after h3, black takes, which was to be expected, and the problem is white cannot take back with the queen because black can take on d4, which would be a free pawn. So now white has no pieces developed, he has a lot of pawns in the center, and after knight c6 he has to defend his center and e5. Here white played d5, which is the natural response, but arguably white should probably take here to stop losing time, and after black takes back with a pawn, he can continue with knight c3, put a knight on d5, and eventually he should play the move f4 to get rid of one of his doubled pawns. But okay, d5, the problem is black can now put the knight on d4, and this knight will stay here forever, as if white ever takes it, now there's a passed pawn on d4, and also this bishop will be unstoppable. All of white's dark squares are very weak. Instead, black goes here, but now white has a typical King's Indian advantage. Black is now undeveloped, white has a lot of space, and white plays c5, which is the typical plan. Knight c3, queen b3, though probably queen b3 is a bit too much. White should finish his development, maybe bishop e2, maybe castle queenside, move the king to b1, maybe push h4 at some point, put the bishop here. But okay, queen b3. Now black could have played a nice move c6. Since white's king is in the center, he should try to create tension in the center and open up the position as soon as possible. Instead, rook b8, which is very passive. Now queen a4, white moves around the queen again. Instead, we should aim for development as fast as possible, put the king on b1 to avoid the c file, and white should be pleasantly better as black is not really doing anything on the other side. Queen a4 and c6. And black is trying to do something on the queen side, but now white gets this pawn. Probably we should not lose the initiative and take like this. For example, after queen c7. Now if we even move the bishop from f1 and put the rook on d1, we have pretty good coordination of the pieces. Our king should go to b1 eventually, and white is a pawn ahead. This is also fine, of course. After queen d7, black is blockading the passed pawn with the queen, but in general the queen is not a good blockading piece. And the white plays h4, which is a nice move to play bishop h3. After queen e8, white is basically winning because he has the passed pawn, black has no counterplay, and white has finished development. So a few moves pass, and now we get to this position where white plays the very bad move queen a5, which should just end the game because of knight takes a5, and this is the first moment where white completely did not look at his opponent's moves. Before making any move, we have to visualize that we've made the move and ask ourselves what checks, captures, and attacks can the opponent play. Well, there are some checks, but currently they're covered. Captures, well, either the pawn or the queen, right? And this square is actually defended. So the blunder check did not happen, and black should have taken and the game would be over. Instead, black goes here. Also didn't check for checks, captures, and attacks. And now white continues to be winning. A few moves later, white moved his king to d2, which is not a very safe place for the king with so many pieces on the board. We should try to put our king on the side of the board as soon as possible. Instead, king d2. And now g5 by black, which again overlooks forcing sequences by the opponent. Here white found a simple tactic to get rid of the defender of the bishop, and after this white is now a piece up. Well, actually he has two pieces for the rook, which is also good. And after bishop g4, White is completely winning as well because of this pawn. And now we should basically get our rook to a normal position and finish the game, which is somewhat what White did. Black gave away his rook to take back some pieces, and now we got this position where White has a knight for nothing, so White should win this all the time. So now c5, White goes to take some pawns. Here Black gets some kind of small counterplay, but it's not very real. And at the end of this, White decides to put his king on g2 to defend this pawn, put the knight on c4, and now the king went to h3, which of course is not dangerous in itself, but there's no reason to decentralize the king like this. We should just keep our king in the center. Sure, Black will take this pawn, but we can drive away the opponent's king, put our king in the center, eventually move our rook away, and push our pawn. Instead, after king h3, now suddenly Black is threatening mate in 1, which has to be addressed. White gives a check, moves away, and now plays the move rook a6, which is a horrible blunder which ends the game outright, similar to queen a5. And again, we cannot play chess by ourselves, so to say. We understand that we have some ideas to take the opponent's pawns or something, but before making any move in chess in any game in your life or career of chess, before making the move, visualize that you've made the move and try to think about your opponent's checks, captures, and attacks. And unfortunately, the only check in the position ends up being checkmate. And this is quite a standard pattern. Of course, White should probably again kick away the king somehow, and then maybe get the king back into the game, maybe rook g3 and king g2. So again, no strategy will ever save us from blunders like this. We have to blunder check our moves. There is no other way to play decent chess.